everyone. Continuing with the Metallica special weekend, this song, Vlad told me, was kind of hard for him to choose which one it would be because he says Metallica has so many great songs, which means that I will have plenty more Metallica to listen to in the future. But for now, he finally settled on one from the 90s, a little bit later in their career than the one I listened to yesterday. And his reason for it is that he says it will give me a different perspective on their musical output and what the band was capable of. So I'm curious to see what that's about. So this song is going to be Nothing Else Matters. Don't forget, you can always check out my Ko-fi and Patreon membership pages if you want to support my exploration of this new to me music. And there you will find exclusive access to videos which can never be published on YouTube due to copyright issues. Things like Jimi Hendrix, Eagles, the Beatles 150 series, and so on. As well as early access to all Virgin Rock videos and a special music theory course designed to start from ground zero and progress every step of the way. Well, let's see what I have to learn about this piece of music before I listen to it. Nothing Else Matters is a power ballad released in 1992 as the third single from their self-titled fifth studio album, Metallica. The song peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock Tracks chart, number 6 on the UK singles chart, number 1 in Denmark, and reached the top 10 on many other European charts. Recognized as one of Metallica's best-known and most popular songs, it has become a staple in live performances. Okay, so this one is another big one. Hetfield explained this song in 2008, saying, "It's about being on the road, missing someone at home, but it was written in such a way it connected with so many people that it wasn't just about two people, it was about a connection with your higher power, lots of different things. At first, I didn't even want to play it for the guys. I thought that Metallica could only be the four of us. These are songs about destroying things, headbanging, bleeding for the crowd, whatever it is. As long as it wasn't about chicks and fast cars, although that's what we liked." The song was about a girlfriend at the time. It turned out to be a pretty big song. Okay, well, let's listen to it. Definitely a ballad feel to it. Nice. Have some strings in there this time.
So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are. This way, life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek, and I find in
stopping there for a minute. This is so incredibly different. I don't know if I would even recognize it as being the same band. Just if I were listening blind and comparing what I've heard, which isn't much yet. Well, the drums still have, maybe I would say feels like, I don't know, is it their signature sound? There's something unique, at least unique to my ears, about the drums in this band. Both the one I listened to yesterday and this one now. There's something about it which is very deep. I talked yesterday about it being round and full in sound. It still has that roundness here. It's kind of, even though they're very prominent and powerful, it gives them a little bit of a mellowness around the edges. And, well, thinking back to And Justice for All, that was different. At least my experience of it then was, it didn't have any mellowness to my ears at all. But this is different. This one and both have a warmth to it and a depth and a fullness, which I hear across all the instruments, but it's interesting that I'm especially picking it up in the drum section. Well, another thing that I'm noticing so far, this song kind of puts me in the mood of some lusciously orchestrated traditional folk ballad. Maybe I could even go, Metallica is American, right? But there are some orchestral versions of Celtic and Irish folk songs, melodies, that are orchestrated in a very lush, warm, full, sweeping manner. And this doesn't exactly sound Irish or Scottish or anything like that, but there's a sort of verdant quality to the sound. And the melody also is simple, and his voice. Is this the same singer? That's incredible. Because this voice is so different from the voice in one, as far as the style of singing. This is soft and warm. I might even say fuzzy. It has this bit of a... Yes, well, it's a ballad about a girlfriend, right? So it makes sense. It's kind of sentimental in a way. A little bit of a teddy bear feeling to the voice, right? Just this comfortable, fuzzy, warm sound. Soothing, inviting, reflective. So different from one. That makes me appreciate him more as a singer. Is Hetfield the singer? Okay, I have to figure out who's who in the band. I begin to get a bit of appreciation for Hetfield's singing abilities now. Anyway, let's keep going. But that's kind of the impression I'm getting at this point in the music, and the way it transitioned to this instrumental section. Still the lush, verdant quality. I feel like maybe I'm walking through some pastoral scenery in the spring when the grass is wet and the insects are starting to buzz about and the sunshine is warm and the sky is blue and everything is green and vibrant and very much alive. Not terribly surprising, actually, considering that if he was in love with this girlfriend, he's going to have those very much alive springtime feelings.
Myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way.
There is a folk traditional quality to it. Even the way the notes are ornamented.
Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view.
Now his voice is changing. It's getting closer to what I heard yesterday.
Never cared for what they say. Never cared for games they play. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. And I
I enjoyed that long sustained set of drone notes in this closing section where the guitar is plucking above, but there's this constant bum, and it goes on and on and on and on. This feeling of constancy and a place to rest and lean on, which of course is consistent with the lyrics as well. Nothing else matters. Trust. Or was it? Trust is forever trusting who we are. So close no matter how far. I guess I feel like they did a beautiful musical portrayal of those sentiments there. As I was listening, I was thinking, what other rock songs have I listened to that this reminds me of? And the guitar solo, actually, I got a little bit of a flashback to Firth of Fifth by Genesis. That beautiful guitar solo there. Something about the way it was so lyrical and flowed, connected into the music so nicely. I'll have to go back and listen to Firth of Fifth. It's been quite some time since I paid attention to that one, but that came to mind as I was listening there. And the other thing that I think of in places was Simon and Garfunkel, the boxer, which I listened to. And of course they were folk rock, so my impressions of this is kind of tending towards a traditional folk style fits that. You know, if you start thinking, okay, what is the Simon and Garfunkel sound, and the way they give this beautiful mix and feeling, and now listening to this is so interesting to notice different flavors, so to speak. And I guess I'm happy to know that Metallica could do something gentle, could do something warm and comforting, in addition to their incredibly eloquent and powerful other stuff like And Justice for All and One. And right here is where it starts to feel like already sort of folk style playing, because one of the things that often happens when you're playing a dulcimer, a harp, a guitar, some of those other plucked folk style instruments, a lot of these songs don't have really... Well, they're very traditional. So, of course, their harmonies, their harmonic structure is not adventurous at all. It's a very traditional sequencing of chords and harmonic progressions. And not always very rapid either. Sometimes we can sit on a chord for quite some time. So what to do? You're just strumming along on the harp, on the dulcimer, on a guitar. You've got the pattern. Dum ba da dee da da. Then what happens? Well, you start to fill it a bit. You start to add a little bit of filigree, a little bit of extra pluckings of the same notes within the same space of time to just add some extra texture, some extra interest. So, let's see, this is it is changing chords here. Let's just say it's an E minor. No, it's going to be an A minor chord. Actually, it's not clear whether it's A minor or A major because there is no C sharp. So we'll leave it A minor, although thinking about it, probably it makes more sense to make it A major. We'll make it A major. Because we are... No, it really is better to have it A minor. That fits the sonority better, right? So let's say I'm going... just stick with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I started to add yum da 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 dum, and this is what I sense here in this moment. Let's listen to what happens there with that guitar. We're going on. Some extra plucking. And this, I marked this the first time through because it's that harmonic sound, the sound of plucking a harmonic on a string, which gives it a smooth, almost flute-like or sometimes even a glassy sound. But if I'm playing this, we're back to E minor, right? That's what we heard there in that moment. Just he was doing harmonics on the strings, and just again a touch of a different sound, and it was so surprising, so special in that moment. Something to mark it as a point to give attention. And big surprise, not really. It turns out that this is the point at which the whole sequence of the intro kind of starts over. We had this E minor going on, and then we've come to a sort of cadential point, a pause, a resting place, and now we're returning to E minor. And he marks it with these harmonics, which are such an extra little touch. It doesn't take a lot of imagination, but at the same time, you have to know exactly where to put it for maximum effect. And this works so beautifully there. Well, let's go back and listen to this intro one more time. You know, yesterday I commented with 1. Maybe I should get really bold and try to do a harp arrangement of 1. I'm still not sure that it would really work on the harp, but it's an idea I guess I'll toy with for a while. But this one could actually work quite nicely. It is laid out in such a way that it wouldn't be... Well, it fits the instrument. You can hear it already. Guitar, so it's a little bit awkward. There are some awkward places I'd have to work out, but it sounds like it belongs on the instrument, right? Maybe I should try this. What if I what if I end up creating several Metallica covers along this journey? Wouldn't that be kind of hilarious? Especially considering that Metallica was my first experience in so-called factory noise. This is certainly not factory noise. Very pastoral, almost lullaby-like. Well, it is a ballad. It has that swaying, lilting quality. Go again. And now the strings enter. And I like this descending line. Now, I don't have the string parts on this score, but we can use our ears and we can hear what's happening here. I just commented on this descending line, which we hear at the bottom of the guitar part. So we have this, we're walking from a D to a C, and then back to an E. And then the same pattern continues. We have walking down, and we have another guitar doing another downwards pattern. Gotta grab this other pedal over here. And so we have a lot of downwards motion, but what's happening in the strings? What do we hear? And even higher. So we end up with a kind of contrary motion, descending and ascending at the same time, which grounds us in the harmony, as well as kind of lifting us a bit, making us feel like there's this soaring element. There's this kind of lifting your eyes to the hills a bit and looking beyond what's just down at our feet. And that kind of part writing is very effective in balancing and making us feel like we're progressing, moving through a place, traveling, going somewhere. It gives extra dimension to the music. We start to feel it in 3D. And that's exactly what kind of starts happening here. We get all comfortable. And now we start to go somewhere else. And our vision opens a bit wider, a little higher. And then
couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way.
here come the strings again.
Life is ours, we live it our way. Hold these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you.
And it starts to build and build, which I've noticed is something Metallica's pretty good at. They carry us along, and they pull us into it, and they pull the music along, and we get caught up in the current of it. And even though this is a gentler style, we still get pulled into this current, and we start traveling where they take us, and the way that the instruments join one at a time. And notice the thirds and the sixths. What is that anyway? Well, a third is when you have 1, 2, 3. You play number 1 and you play number 3. We call that a third. A sixth, same idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We play 1 and we play 6. That's a sixth. Now listen to what happens with these harmonies. I'm not playing anything really. I'm just walking around the strings. But isn't it a pleasing sound? Same with thirds. Again, I'm doing nothing. I'm not even thinking where my finger goes next. It's just traveling around the instrument. But when you apply that to a melodic sequence like this, the thirds and the sweet harmonies, whether you find this a lot in folk music, you find it a lot in simple songs, and you also find it a lot in a genre like country music, which is again very straightforward and kind of traditional in its harmonic structure. That's what gives us the incredibly soothing, comforting quality in this vocal part and in the instrumentation as well, because we find it also in the guitar, and if we were looking at the strings, we would see that they have a lot of the same. And that is different than what we saw in One, or way back in And Justice for All, where it was a completely different approach to the music. So again, would I recognize this as being the same band? Probably not right away.
Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters. Never cared for what they
Nice
do.
sequencing there.
Never cared for what they know. But I know.
Now we're brought back to the E minor.
No matter how far, it could
You like it played?
much more from art. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters.
Kind of fun to play along, right?
Never cared for what they do.
Now we're a little stronger.
Never cared for what they know. But I know.
I guess another thing that puts me in mind of the folk reference is that these drums, I keep coming back to the drums with this. Wonder why. Anyway, these drums. I talked about the roundness of it, but when you think of a traditional drum head, folk style drumming, there is that sort of tubby roundness in the sound, and right here especially, I noticed that.
Never cared for what they know. But I know.
Here. Yes, it's a rock song, but it's very easy to listen to. I never imagined saying that Metallica would be easy to listen to. Here I am. Just goes to show all the different possibilities within a style, within a band, and with the way we can handle and relate to music and express so many different. And that is one thing that I've noticed with a lot of this rock music, is that many times people say rock music is about protest or something unsettling, revolt, going against the grain, expressing anger, expressing all these negative emotions, which we all have and experience, but we don't only have those emotions. And it's always satisfying to see the full range of human emotion expressed. Not just what we would find in the topic of and justice for all, or the topic of one, but the willingness to take on every emotion and give it a place at the table and allow it its own dignity. And here we have this feeling of trust and love, and it does feel like a love ballad. However, what Hetfield said, that it can be about a connection with your higher power or a lot of different things. It's true, because it's not so specific. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way. The admission that I've never been so open and comfortable as to be able to trust as I do with this other individual, whether it's a girlfriend or a higher power or a friend or whatever. But it's the incredible beauty being expressed of trust, complete trust, being able to let go and be fully open and trust another with one's entire self. The good, the dark, the weird, the maybe even the parts of us that we don't even know very well ourselves, because some parts of us we don't really like to face. But to have another person that we can trust so fully, that's what it feels is being expressed here. And that is the foundation of a real lasting love relationship. Because if you cannot trust, you might have passion for another person, you might have attraction, but to really be able to have that love grow and thrive and have a place to blossom, there has to be trust. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Metallica has tackled an incredibly beautiful topic in this song. And I think they have done so with respect. They have not made it too sappy sentimental. There is a depth and a strength to it, a breadth to it. There is this power within it. But there is this ease and ability to rest anywhere in the music without the conflicts of dissonance. That's very special. And it's a very appropriate musical, artistic rendition for the topic. This is beautiful, isn't it? The lighter, the brighter, reaching higher, and at the same time we have this depth at the bottom. You hear the bass.
I never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way.
Yes, and I circled these ornaments the first time through because I was talking about the folk quality, and here you could almost say that it's Irish or something Celtic, because the way he handles these ornaments is really classic. It's not like Celtic music has a corner on the market for these ornaments, but they feature so strongly. It's such an integral part of the decorations, melodic decorations and singing style of traditional Celtic music that whenever I hear them, my mind jumps there first, just because there is that association.
I never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say. And nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you.
Now it gets more broad again.
Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters.
His transition through into this different vocal style is so smooth and gradual. I don't even realize it's happening until I suddenly realize, oh, he's singing differently now.
I never opened myself this way.
It is a
Life
bit
is
more
ours, we
pointed.
live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you.
Just a hint.
Every day for us something new.
Here comes a bit more
Open
prominent.
mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what
And
they
suddenly
say.
the full manifestation of it.
Never cared for games they play.
And it gets
Never
stranger.
cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. And I know, yeah.
This section never cared for what they say, what they do, what they know. It has this quality of just absolute freedom and release into this not caring. It's not my problem. I know who we are together. I know who you are. I trust you. It doesn't matter what anybody else says or does or thinks they know. It's almost an anthem of confidence. Here's the guitar solo. I guess this is where it reminds me of versatility. And here comes the guitar back.
So close, no matter how
And suddenly the voice is warm again.
couldn't be much.
And that special little walking down moment in the bass. So beautifully placed to take us down. Notice it.
So close, no matter how far.
There.
much more from the
Comes again.
heart. Forever trusting who we are. No, nothing else matters.
We're back to this kind of dulcimer quality. And listen to the strings and the guitar underneath. One long note. The bass, everything is just holding out. This is where we rest. This is our place of confidence. Lovely. A lovely expression. A lovely artistic illustration of this topic. And, well, I had braced myself for a pretty heavy-duty weekend. So this is a real surprise. And I guess I have higher expectations of Metallica now. Not only because of the depth and the profound content they can create, but the dignity with which they can handle a topic such as this, as well as, let's say, the versatility that I suddenly discover this band has. So I'm very much looking forward to the next time I visit Metallica down the road, and this has been a very enjoyable weekend for me, believe it or not, and I'll see you soon.